and meshes. Welcome to the world of Baldurs Gate 3. It's me, the Spot King, and in today's video I will show you a super cool build for Minthara. And this build will be Oathbreaker. Yeah, this lady not looking like Minthara. Don't ask me what happened with the real one. So I hope you can figure out by yourself how to break oaths as Minthara. But you need to speak with Oathbreaker anyway, and tell him you're ready to become Oathbreaker. And by becoming Oathbreaker, you will get these actions and spells from your oath. Spiteful Suffering. You will gain advantage on attack rolls against creature, and this creature will suffer necrotic damage each turn. You can control undead, so if you see any undeads, you can use this oath charge to control them. Very fun spell in Act 2. You can frighten nearby enemies, use Hellish Rebuke as reaction to inflict fire damage, get melee spell Inflict Wounds just in case you need a large amount of necrotic damage, Darkness, and Crown of Madness, and most useful Aura of Hate. So this aura will give additional damage to your melee weapon and your allied undeads. This damage based on your charisma. And finally you will be able to make some zombies for yourself. A variety of different paladin spells still will be with you. You can't recruit Minthara early on, so anyway when you recruit her, go to Wizards and change your class. Make sure to do it before you break your oath, because Wizards won't change your class if your oath is broken. So I'll explain leveling on this character. You create in Paladin, it doesn't matter what oath you pick, but easiest to break will be Oath of Devotion in my opinion. Again, it doesn't matter because you will break it anyway, for this build especially. And most of the time when you play in Paladin, you want stats like this, like high strength, high charisma, some constitution, some dexterity, some wisdom. And then most of the time you pick in cool feats that will increase your damage or increasing your strength. It's far more reliable than increasing charisma. But because Oathbreaker Paladin scales so well with charisma and his ally scales so well with charisma, I would suggest instead dumping your strength a little bit and getting more constitution and far more charisma. Make sure to do the stats at around level 8, and I will explain you just in a minute why. So starting stats is 12 strength, 11 dexterity, 16 constitution, 10 wisdom, 17 charisma. Let's go. Level 2, fighting style, defense. We want higher armor class for this paladin. You can prepare any spells you like, but again, most of the time you will just use your smite as your main spell. I will explain what spells is good after I finish this leveling process. So, in case you don't want to wait until level 8 to respect your character, you can add your multiclass right now. So, at level 3 you switch to Warlock, picking Eldritch Blast and Minor Illusion as your cantrips, Great Old One as your subclass, and your spells will be Armor of Agathos and Hex. By going into Warlock right now, you're sacrificing extra attack at level 5 as Paladin, but that's fine if you get this Hex bonus damage. Level 2 Warlock, and you can pick like any spell you like, it doesn't matter too much, Arms of Hadar will work, but most importantly you get in your Eldritch Invocations. We want to have Agonizing Blast to increase power of our Eldritch Blast and add Charisma modifier to it. And we want to have Devil's Sight. This will give us ability to see in the darkness, even magical darkness. And then we finish in with Warlock level 3. Most importantly here you want to pick your Pact Boon. It will be Pact of the Blade, which gives us ability to make our weapon Pact weapon. So instead of using strength or dexterity for our weapon, we will use charisma now. That's why this build is so cool for Oathbreaker. As for spells, you can pick any spells you like. You can go with Darkness, it will work right away. Another good spells will be Hold Person or Misty Step to reposition yourself. Arms of Hadar is kinda not very useful for us because we're using weapon most of the time. So for those of you who want a lot of variety, I would go with Hold Person and Misty Step. But if you want to enjoy build right away, go with Darkness. But keep in mind, you will get Darkness spell from Oathbreaker anyway later on. Basically, we're stopping with Warlock and switching back to Paladin. So level 6 Paladin, level 7 it will be Paladin with additional feat. And our feat of choice is to increase Dexterity and Charisma by 1, to round up Charisma at 18. Finally, at level 8 you will get extra attack. Now we can do 2 attacks with your weapon, do 2 smites in 1 turn, so that's a very nice level. Then you go into level 9, again as Paladin, to level 10 as Paladin, and on level 11, again you will be Paladin, and you gain additional feat. So right now you want to go to ability improvement and increase your charisma by 2. And last choice, do you want to go to level 9 Paladin to unlock a lot of spells and gain ability to summon undead, because you unlock it only on last level as Oathbreaker. If you don't want one really weak zombie with you at these levels, just go to one more level in Warlock, you can get one more spell, so that's pretty nice, but most importantly you will get one more feat. And I recommend going with Heavy Armor Master. This will reduce damage you taken by 3, so you will be really tanky Paladin. In case you want more damage, you can go with Great Weapon Master, because when you're killing someone with this stuff, you can do additional actions, additional attack as bonus action, but I would go with Heavy Armor Master for this build. So, we got a lot of spells as Paladin. Do we need all of them? No, you don't need to panic too much. With this build, it's all so much easier. So, from Paladin spell list, that's basically all you need. 3 different smites: Thunderous, Searing, and Restful Smite. These smites do different damage and not your basic radiant damage that's done by Divine Smite. Some creatures get protection from Divine Energy, and they will do double damage to you when you inflicting radiant damage. That's when you want to use different smites. Other spells can be useful too, like Remove Curse can remove Paralyze and other curses. Revivify can revive your teammates, so just in case you can add them to your hotbar. Stuff like Daylight, very useful against creatures that fear light, for example. So there's a lot of useful stuff in different situations. You can equip any of those that's your party lacking. So if your party don't have Daylight, you can equip this on your Paladin. But that's all we need. Elemental weapon. Powerful stuff, you will concentrate on this and inflict additional damage with different element of your choice. And you receive 1 bonus to attack rolls, so very nice too. So from Warlock spell list you will be using Armor Fagatus and Hex from time to time, but not a lot. Most importantly, you gain in this Eldritch Blast that will do really nice damage. It's not 7 to 16, it's 3 rays from 7 to 16, so 1, 2, 3 rays, very nice damage. In case you can't go to your hole, you can cast Eldritch Blast from the distance and inflict nice damage. And most importantly, when you play in Paladin, go to Reactions and turn on your Divine Smites to ask. Yeah, it's a little bit boring, but now you can attack and then you will be asked, do you want to use Smite? So make sure to turn it on everywhere. And now when we are attacking, look, we will be prompted with this ask, do you want to use Smite? What type of Smite do you want to use after you attack? So you see already damage you did to your enemy, and then you can calculate, oh, I better use Divine Smite 3. It will do from 4 to 32 damage. Or maybe from 2 to 16 from first Divine Smite is enough. So that's like a nice tip when playing this type of Paladin. Most powerful stuff is Aura of Protection. It will protect nearby allies with +6 bonus to saving throws. Very powerful stuff. It will protect yourself too. And Aura of Hate, of course. This will inflict additional damage to attacks of you and your friendly undeads. So that's why Minthara is really nice addition to party with Necromancer or Sport Druid who got undeads on the roster. But now let's talk about gear for this build and how to get 22 charisma flat. So let's start with not so important gear. Amulet, just pick whatever amulet you like. Amulet of Mr. Step will work, or some other types of amulets. Our ring, Killer Sweetheart. If your other party members don't need this ring, you can get it on your Paladin, just to make sure you can land a critical hit 1 time, when you need this critical hit to inflict a lot of damage with your smite. Then it's pretty late game ring, Crypt Lord ring, which give you ability to create undead. Really powerful mummy undead. This mummy will gain additional powers from you, so very nice stuff. For shield slot, it doesn't matter, I like Svarish Sledbird. It gives you first conduit that blocks damage. We get heavy armor proficiency, heavy armor, so it's nice to neglect even more damage and take 0 damage most of the time. For our weapon, I would go with Duke's Ravenguard's Longsword. It's not one of the most powerful longswords, but it gives you +2 to charisma. Because we're using Charisma as our damage modifier and other stuff, it will be a really powerful weapon. And additionally, when you kill an enemy allies within 9 meters, you gain temporary hit points equal to your Charisma modifier. So whenever we kill like easy targets nearby of ourselves, we will give additional health points to our teammates. Very cool, powerful stuff, but you need to do some evil things to get this sword. In case you're interested how to get the sword in recent patch, I will show you later in this video. And without spoilers as always. So then, for our shoes, I would go with basic evasive shoes, just to give our armor class +1 bonus. For gloves, go with something like Helldusk gloves, it doesn't matter too much, any gloves that will give you additional damage on hit. These gloves can be looted from one of the enemies in House of Hope. So armor of persistence, late game armor, incoming damage reduced by 2. We gain a resistance and blade ward, so we are super tanky, annoying paladin in the front lane. And because our armor class is so high, I would go with Cloak of Displacement if possible, to give enemies disadvantage on attack rolls against us, and it's almost impossible to hit us. As for helmet, pick anything you like, Helm of Balduran will work, just more armor class, you can be stunned, avoid critical hits, so you basically like neglecting all the damage you take. So that's the build and how to play it. Start of the day, turn on Aura of Protection if it turned off, Aura of Hate. Make sure to bind your packed weapon, don't forget it, because right now our sword is doing 1d8 +1 damage, but after casting this stuff, we're already doing 1d8 +7 damage. And chances to hit is a lot higher too. Then if possible try to cast on yourself Armor of Agatus to get additional hit points and go into battle. So, whenever enemies attack you, use Hellish Rebuke as your Warlock spell slot. It will do from 3 to 30 fire damage to enemies. So really powerful stuff. And then your gameplay loop is really simple. On first turn, just cast Darkness. Again, try to use it with Warlock spell slot because you can replenish it after short rest. And when everyone is blinded, you're not. Now in Darkness you will get advantage on your attack rolls, and that's the craziest part. You have higher chances to land critical hit and land those juicy smites. But keep in mind, Darkness is concentration spell, so you can't use Hex or Elemental Weapon with this spell. So core playstyle is basically around 2 spells, Darkness and Eldritch Blast. Just go into Darkness, attack, and if you crit, go and do your smites. If you not, you can do smites too, just in case you wish to do additional radiant damage, and you can do 2 attacks in a turn. And that's where power of this character lies. You're already almost unkillable, unhittable 25 AC character, with a lot of additional health points. And you get this advantage in attacks against targets with really high hit chance. And damage again is really insane. So 20 flat damage, plus smites, and yeah, you're actually doing around 20 damage with each hit with this weapon. And coolest part, when you kill someone that is nearby of your allies, and yeah, you're running critical hits a lot, you will frighten your enemies, they will stay in one place, possibly in the darkness, that's like craziest part. If they stay in the darkness, they're very vulnerable, and they can't do anything basically. Your critical hits is insane. 2 crits in a row, oh my goodness. And after I kill him, our allies getting temporary hit points, thanks to our weapon. And yeah, every short rest you can use Commander's Strike. Most of the time you won't use it because it uses action and bonus action, but just in case you want your ally to do additional attack as a reaction, you can use this. And when you find some bodies, don't forget you can use your Create Undead spell and make some zombies for you. These zombies will do even more damage, thanks to Aura of Hate. But make sure not to attack with zombies in darkness. So if enemy in darkness but zombie outside, he will gain advantage on attack rolls. That's really powerful stuff, so even basic zombies can do nice amount of damage and inflict crawling gnaw that will spawn more zombies when you destroy your enemies with few attacks. Additional cool feature, you gain an advantage not only on your melee attack rolls but also on Eldritch Blast. Hitting Eldritch Blast with advantage is really easy task and do really nice damage. And it's nice not to only rely on your melee attacks. That's very cool stuff. Still, don't forget, most damage comes from your smites. But when targets outside of your normal range and you stand in a darkness, you get an advantage even when they not in a darkness. So just by attacking from the shadows, you get in this juicy advantage and possibly will critical hit a lot. that will frighten your enemies, they will stay in one place. Very powerful stuff. So, how to get this sword? And this build is basically designed to get this sword anyway. As you already know, it's Duke Ravenguard, and that's his sword. So first part is to just save him. When you save your Duke, you can get the sword from your camp. While you can attack him, it will make all camp hostile, so better not do it. And best way is to actually cast Darkness. So by casting Darkness, he will try to run away. Make sure to have enough spell slots and just let him run away from you. Let's just lure him to the different sides. He will try to run. I guess try to run over here. Yeah, he's running. You can do it by yourself or with other party members, it doesn't matter too much, but just make him run away from you. And now when he's outside of everybody's sight, best way actually to cast Hold Person on him. But this won't work now, so it can be casted on ally. That's why you want to go to passives and toggle non-lethal attacks. And then just try to one-shot him with Divine Smite. When he is in your camp, he most of the time will be injured and it's easy to do so. So as you can see, he one-shotted and everybody is fine. No one noticed that we knocked him down. Now we can loot his Blade of Martial, reduce incoming damage by 2, some resistances, very nice armor, but most importantly this Duke Ravenguard's long sword. And after long rest, everybody is friend again. But my suggestion is to do it with non-main character. But he will be fine, and he will be with his sword. I hope you enjoyed this Minthara Oathbreaker build. Very fun to play, very fun to use, nice companion. Watch other cool videos on the screen right now and see you in the next videos, guys.